Cool. And we are live, right? And we are live. So the title of today's discussion is I Am the Way, Not the Symptom. It's a lecture on identity above sensation. A lecture on identity above sensation. All right. Now, keep in mind, we talk about perspective, right? We speak on perspective. What does that mean? It means I'm not telling you that techniques don't work. But what I constantly try to do is push you down the path of going to the center, right? Making it effortless. Because oftentimes if we get caught in techniques, it can seem exhausting. Right? I have this chronic physical condition. I've had this pain for X amount of time. Now, how do I take my awareness off the fact that I have pain? I have pain. I've had this financial situation for X amount of time. How do I take my awareness off the fact that I had this financial situation? I had this financial situation. How do I act like I have $1 million when I don't have $1 million, right? I get it. I get it. So this is what we're going to talk about today, okay? This is inspired by a couple questions, and it's really, a lot of these things are inspired by the conversation that we had yesterday, that beautiful conversation we had yesterday, okay? So the quote that we're going to start with is this. This is the question I want you to ponder. Trying to feel your way into health or money. Let's see here. All right. Trying to feel your way into health or money often exhausts people. Because you, oh God, already another typo. All right, here we go. Trying to feel your way into health or money often exhausts people because you are trying to climb into a future state emotionally instead of resting in an eternal now. We said it one more time. Trying to feel your way into health or money often exhausts people because you're trying to climb into a future state emotionally instead of resting in an eternal now. Here we go. Most people try to heal by arguing with the body. They try to think their way out of pain, feel their way into abundance, visualize their way into wholeness. And when the body keeps aching, when the bank account still reads $10, when the symptoms repeat, they conclude something is wrong with them. But the mistake was never in the effort. The mistake was in the foundation. What does that mean? What is the foundational truth that we lean on to get what we want? To be, to exist. The foundational truth is simply I am, right? I am that I am. I am God. I am source. I am the center. I am the creator. That is the foundational proof. And resting in that knowing means what? If I am it all, then I already am it all. I get to choose from that foundational truth that I am already everything. Okay? I know you hear me so far, okay? So now let's check this out. Feelings are weather. Sensations are waves, right? They come and go. Thoughts are echoes. None of them are truth. They are movements within truth. Okay? So I am is the truth. Your feelings, the sensations, the thoughts, the physical sensations, all of them, they are not the truth. They are movements within the truth. All right? The truth is always simpler, quieter, and far more powerful. The truth is just I am. Let's get a little bit farther. All right. So yesterday, here was the question that was posed. The question that I asked one of the goddesses was, how do you manifest $1 million if you only have 10? How do you manifest $1 million if you only have 10? And the answer was, imagine the feeling. Huh? Imagine the feeling. Nothing wrong with that, right? Not right, not wrong. Okay. It sounds beautiful, but what is the deeper issue? How do you feel rich if you have never been rich? If you have this chronic pain in your body, how do you feel healed? You don't have it. If you're missing this person, how do you feel like they are here when you miss them? Okay? This is the deeper question. This is the deeper question. Those things work, right? When you get to a point of neutrality, okay, cool. Right? You get to this point of neutrality and I don't really care. Okay, I simply visualize or imagine or whatever the case may be, right? Feel it real, right? But how do you feel healthy if your body is screaming? Feelings are conditioned by experience. Feelings are conditioned by experience. And if you make feeling the authority, you're going to turn your past into God. Right? Now, I mean that on several levels. All right? If we make feeling the authority, I have to feel this way to manifest it. Okay, now I begin to have a feeling and I think right now, oh, this is the feeling. Then something happens, boom, and I'm thrown off that feeling. And I try to conjure it up, trying to reference that past point in time. But that past point in time is gone. That's not me anymore. I am new in every moment. So now I'm judging myself based on the past version of myself. That version of me doesn't even exist anymore. All right? Or I go through a situation, right? Boom, and I'm hurt and I'm thinking, ah, damn, this isn't good. I must have created a negative situation because I felt this way. I must have created some kind of negative situation because I felt this way. Now, all of a sudden, I start judging myself. Anytime I have that feeling, I'm judging myself. I'm referencing that point, and now I'm making that God. Bro, it's suffering. I'm just adding more struggle, more quote unquote resistance in my life. Constantly comparing myself to a past that doesn't exist anymore. But I'm whole and new right now in this moment. So what do I do? What do I do? I'm whole and new in this moment right now. So what does my divine ass do? I rest on the truth. What is the truth? I am. The truth is I am. Okay? The truth is I am. Wonderful. All right, so here we go. This is why identity must come before emotion. Jesus, right? When we listen to the words of Jesus, right? Yeshua, your I am awareness. He did not say, feel your way into truth. What did he say? He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? And that's John 14:6. If your divine ass want to write that down, that is John 14:6, right? He didn't say, I will become the way. He didn't say, I am trying to find the way. He simply said, I am, right? So this whole discussion, we're going to constantly go back to divine identity. I am, I am, I am, I am, right? So let's talk about the quote. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I trust that you understand what I'm saying when I say this, but let's break it down a little bit, okay? This is not poetry meant to inspire the weak into trying harder. This is not some calling that to get to the infinite, there's only one access point, and it is some guy back in the past named Jesus. This is an identity statement from the core of existence itself. Right? It wasn't said, I will show you the way. He didn't say, follow these steps and you might reach the truth. He said, I am, right? The way is not a process. The truth is not a concept. The life is not something you earn, all right? The way, the truth, and the life are all the same thing, and they are all identity, okay? You don't move toward God. You don't move toward God by adding a feeling, right? By adding a thought. You awaken as God. You remember who you truly are, right? You don't chase healing, abundance, or peace as destinations. These aren't things that you get to eventually after you add more words or add more feelings. This is what you're doing. When you're saying, I have to pretend or imagine, you're saying, I have to go somewhere. I have to leave who I am. I have to go somewhere because I'm not already it. So I have to imagine it. I have to visualize it. I have to affirm for it. I have to do more to get there. All right. You recognize them as expressions of who you already are. If I just am already, okay, then health is an expression of who I am. Prosperity is an expression of who I am. Abundance is an expression of who I am. Love, an expression of who I am. When you rest in I am, effort falls away and illusion begins to unwind on its own. This is why trying to feel your way into transformation feels so exhausting. Trying to feel your way or think your way into transformation feels so exhausting because it keeps you trapped in becoming. You're constantly on that hamster wheel of becoming, trying, becoming, trying, reaching, working. Okay? I am ends becoming. It is the end of seeking. The moment you stop asking how, the moment you stop asking how and start standing as who, How? Who? Reality begins to reorganize without resistance. All right? The nervous system may still tremble. The body might still tell the old stories. The world may still look the same for a moment, but the axis, right, of your life has shifted. You remember that you are the walking way. We talked about this yesterday, right? And we can use this when it comes to healing, like a body part. We can talk about this when it comes to your life in general, right? So let's say right now you're on this path. And the goddess yesterday, she was talking about music and how this is her passion. She wants to do this, but the path that she was currently on, it just didn't feel like it was lining up, right? So we'll often look out there and say, well, because it doesn't look like things are unfolding perfectly, it must not be. So now we begin to judge that path. We say, okay, I must not be doing the right thing. This isn't for my highest good, right? We start judging the outside world over and over and over again, but we forget the actual truth of our existence. I am the way. I'm the right path because I am the path. I could never not be on the right path because I am the path. The way is always unfolding perfectly because I am the way. So the remembering of these foundational truths allows us to actually flow through life, to enjoy life, to just do our best and understand it's all working out perfectly. Remember, life is all perception. It's all perspective. It will always confront you with your perspective. It would always say, this is who you've been being, so let's give you more of you. So the moment that we take all of our energy out from out there, right, we stop judging the external world. This is wrong. That's bad. This is not working out because this looks a certain way. We say, oh, it doesn't matter what it looks like. I go to the core. I am the truth. I am the way. Okay. This is when everything can start unfolding beautifully for you. Beautiful. All right. So let's see here. The mystics agree on this point. So here's a quote from Meister Eckhart. Eckhart. God is not found in the soul by adding anything, but by a process of subtraction. Okay? So God is not found by adding some imaginal act, adding affirmations, adding a feeling, adding thoughts, but subtracting what? The illusion that implies that you're not already it. Yes, I had this feeling, but I am health. I am whole. I am perfection. Yes, this situation looks like this, but I am the way. So it's always going back to that truth, going back to the truth of who you are, remembering who you are. And we do it over and over and over and over and over again. It's that divine dance of forgetting and remembering. Divine dance. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you, that's Tina. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. All right? Meaning, you do not become whole by piling on techniques, emotions, performances. You become whole by removing the false identities you have been wearing. When you accept yourself as source now and not later, right? Not after the symptoms pass, not after the money comes, not after the body behaves. Everything reorganizes around that knowing. Everything. But because truth, right? Because, oh man, another typo, bro. I wrote this shit fast. Boom. All right. When you accept yourself as source now, not after the symptoms pass, not after the money comes, not after the body behaves, everything reorganizes around that knowing. Because truth reorganizes illusion effortlessly. Let's bold that part, right? Truth reorganizes illusion effortlessly. And what is the truth? What is the truth? The truth is I am. The truth is I already am. You already are. Huh? Exactly. So here we go. Next. All right. So the next part. When the body can repeat. Oh, when the body repeats and the mind doubts. When the body repeats and the mind doubts. Okay? Yes, the body can repeat symptoms. Yes, the nervous system can fire old patterns, right? Yes, sensations, right? Physical pain, it can feel loud and demanding. But sensation, right? Intensity is not authority. Sensation is feedback from the old program. You don't bow to feedback, right? The character. You don't have to succumb to the character. You simply observe it. This goes back to what we've been talking about presence. If you are still long enough, you'll notice kind of this space show up. This natural space, right? Where you seem to separate yourself from the smaller part of you. This thinking, worrying, feeling part of you. And it becomes extremely easy just to observe things, right? To observe the thoughts, to observe these feelings, right? Now, even if you're not in that state where you feel this separation, you can still just simply decide to take a deep breath and rest back into the awareness of who you are. Right? And then from that resting, what you'll notice is that that smaller part of you, right? The part of you that doubts, worries, complains, fears, is anxious, that part of you is not the true part of you. This part of you is a character. I can call myself Alex. I can say my name is Alex. I can say that I'm tired. I can say that things are working out or not working out. But that's not really the truth of who I am. Who I am is much more vast than that. It can't be explained. It can't be put into words. What I am just is. Huh? When we can be aware enough to see that part of us, right? To observe that part of us, we can simply allow thoughts to pass and decide, okay, which one of these do I want to identify with? Do I want to identify with this? No. Perfect. I'll let it pass. Do I want to identify with that? Cool. Okay, I accept that one. Right? This is where your power is. Your power isn't in you needing to sit there and flip every thought. Fight off that part of yourself that is not even doing anything. Right? It's not even creating anything. What you'll see is that a lot of your thoughts are conditioned. They're automatic. They're mechanical, it seems. They're random. One moment they're positive, the next moment they're negative for no reason. They are just what they are. Right? So, and that has never been a problem. What has always been the problem is us standing back as awareness, and instead of just observing the thoughts, we start to what? Identify with them. And then we'll say things like, well, no, I know that I'm not my thoughts. It's just hard for me not to identify with them. And I would say, well, you naturally pick and choose what you identify with anyway. Okay? If we sat down together and we watched a movie, or we binge watched Netflix, right? We watched a little anime, we watched Attack on Titan. We wouldn't start identifying as part of the scout regiment. We wouldn't start identifying as Titan shifters, right? We would simply see that story is not us. We would not identify with it. Yes, those thoughts would come up. Yes, we would think about the show, but we wouldn't say that is I. That is the show. We have the opportunity to do that with every thought, not just with things that we consider to be TV. You can simply look and observe a part of you that is shouting that it's scared, shouting that things won't work out, and say, that's not me. You can say whatever you want after that. That's an old version of me. I'm not that version anymore. That thought doesn't matter. It's just firing off fear, but that's fine because I know who I am. I can make whatever story that I want about them. I don't have to identify with it. It's just oftentimes we'll automatically start identifying with certain things. Right? We don't give ourselves the grace. We don't stand in a position of power to actually start to dictate, what am I going to identify with? Okay? What am I going to identify as? Okay? What if we cry because of 3D, or what if it reflects us? Okay, well then you just cry. You just cry. Right? And so if you do cry, now let's ask the more important question. What if you do cry means nothing? All right, you cry, okay? Who do you say that you are, though? Let's say you finish crying. Now, who are you? When you finish crying, when you finish feeling sad, or in the midst of feeling sad, who are you? Who are you? Yes, KT. Still God. I'm still who I say I am. I still am that I am. I'm still exactly who I desire to be. I simply cried. I simply felt sad, but I still am who I desire to be. There was anxiety that flowed through me. I still am exactly who I desire to be. Huh? So I want you to think about this, right? It's an important question, because I'll say all this and I'll say, okay, well, but what about this? Right? But what about this physical situation? But what about, this is the point of this discussion, is if we're constantly basing our identity on how we feel, whether that is an emotion, whether that's a physical pain, or what we see, whether that's a bank account that has $10 in it. If I'm constantly just so sucked into the illusion that I cannot observe, and I'm constantly saying, no, because I feel this way, this is who I am. Because I feel sad, I'm a sad motherfucker. Because the bank account looks broke, I am not abundant. Well, guess what? How would you change from there? Stop using what you feel and what you see as an excuse to continue to live the life that you don't want. You don't even want to live that life anymore. Let me say that one more time. Stop using what you see and what you feel as a fucking excuse to not have the life that you want. No matter what is going on, you still get to decide who you are. The truth of you is unchanged. It's unchanged. It just is. It is all that there is. The I am, when you decide I am prosperity, that I am, it's untouched by your feelings. It's untouched by the thoughts. It's untouched by the circumstances. Okay? Cool. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. All right? So here's a quote from the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching. All right? The master acts without forcing and teaches without words. Beautiful. The master, right? The master, the key word, the master. The master acts without forcing and teaches without words. What does that mean? The master acts without forcing and teaches without words. This is how healing actually unfolds. You don't wrestle the body. I'm not trying to wrestle the body into feeling better. I'm not trying to chase a feeling. I simply abide as the truth by being, exactly. By being. Truth handles the rest. Truth handles the rest, right? So the master acts without forcing and teaches without words. This reveals the highest form of power. The highest form of power, all right? Force belongs to the ego. Hear this, all right? Listen up, all right? Force belongs to the ego because the ego believes reality must be pushed, convinced, or wrestled into submission. This is what the ego thinks. It needs to be pushed. I got to convince, I got to manipulate it, I got to affirm over it. I got to feel better about a situation I don't want to get something different. The master knows something deeper. What is true does not need pressure. What is real doesn't need performance. Yeah. What is divine doesn't need proof. Here we go. Action that flows from identity moves without strain because it's not trying to become anything. It is simply expressing what already is. I already am prosperity. Moving from that I amness, from that stillness, right? Moving from that clarity, from that state of being, everything flows effortlessly. Now, am I saying that means reality is not going to slap your little ass around sometimes? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that now it's everything flows effortlessly from me. I rest in that stillness. Does that mean I will not have challenges out there? No. But now everything effortlessly unfolds for me so I can constantly walk into who I am. I trust that's clear. It does not matter what is happening out there or how I'm feeling. It's me going to the acceptance of who I am. I accept who I am. I accept that I am that I am. Cool. All right. So here's the next part. This is why alignment feels effortlessly. Feels effortless. Alignment, right? I know you like that word. This is why alignment feels effortless. And misalignment feels exhausting. What is alignment versus misalignment? Alignment is knowing that no matter what I'm feeling right now, I'm just it. It's accepting that right now, I don't care how I feel. It doesn't matter. I feel how I feel, but I am that I am. I feel what I feel, but I am that I am. Effortless. I accept whatever, I accept however I feel and know that I still am it no matter what. Effortless. Misalignment feels exhausting. Thinking that I have to feel a certain way, reach a certain way, thinking that I have to do something to be who I already am. Ooh, that feels uncomfortable. It feels exhausting. Thinking that I have to feel better about a physical pain that I've been having or struggling with for 5 years to get better feels fucking exhausting. It feels damn near impossible. Thinking I have to feel better about the $10 that's in my account with that $30 bill showing up and I don't get paid for another 2 weeks and I have to feel better about it to get $1 million, that sounds exhausting. Exhausting. Well, just imagine it. Just feel it true. That sounds exhausting. You were never designed to bully life into working. Stop trying to bully yourself. Stop trying to bully yourself into feeling better. Okay? You were designed to be so rooted in truth that life reorganizes around you without resistance. Okay? Acceptance, right? It's about acceptance. Acceptance of the truth. Acceptance of the truth. Okay? Here we go. Next part. To teach without words is to transmit through being. Okay? It means your presence carries the lesson before your mouth ever opens. Your stillness becomes the instruction. Your certainty becomes the invitation. This is why the most powerful transformations often happen in silence. No argument, no striving, no reaching, no convincing, just recognition. When you stop forcing the body to heal, when you stop trying to force the body to heal, when you stop trying to force the money to come, when you stop trying to get the future to hurry, you enter the posture of the master. And from that posture, everything begins to move again. Right? Remember, you are awareness. You are consciousness. Everything exists within awareness. Within awareness, everything exists. Everything exists within awareness. Right? But you are the I am. You are the I. Everything exists within awareness, but you are awareness. Okay? Therefore, you get to select who you are, what you want to experience within all that you are. Stop selecting what you don't want. Okay? Stop selecting what you don't want. All right? This is why trying to feel your way into health often exhausts people. because they're trying to climb into a future state emotionally instead of resting in an eternal now. Right now, everything exists. Right now, within you, you can be everything that you want. Everything that you want. Damn, the coffee good. All right, cool. Next. I am health even while the body argues. I am health even while the body argues. Okay? This is the anchor. This is the anchor, right? I am health even when the body argues. I am health is not a prediction. Okay? I am health is not a prediction. It is a declaration of reality at the level where reality is born. The body can ache. The breath may feel tight. The thoughts might whisper doubts. And still the truth doesn't move. I am, it's just the truth. It just is what it is, right? I am just is the truth, right? I'm finna holler at your girl, Chucky. All right. So Jesus stood before what? Illness, decay, and death. And he did not say, I feel powerless today. Right? He didn't say, I feel powerless today. He said, Lazarus, come forth. Right? So imagine this story of Jesus, where Jesus is consulting his emotions, right? You know, I would heal you, but I just don't feel like it today. I would heal you, but I just, you know what I'm saying? I got to feel a little bit better first. I'm just not in alignment right now. Right? Let me do my affirmations real quick. No, it's knowing that it's not the small self that does the work. It's the I am. It's that large part of me that does the work. The ego's not creating. So I let it be. It simply is what it is, but I am that I am. Okay? And then when he healed, what did he often say? He said, your faith has made you whole. Right? Your faith has made you whole, right? Not your mood, not your certainty, not your visualization skill, not your feelings, not your thoughts, not your affirmations, your recognition of what is already true, right? So when we talk about faith, your faith has made you whole. What truly is faith? Recognition of what is already true. You're not manifesting things that don't already exist. You're revealing what is already true. You're revealing what is already true. Okay? This is what it means. Your faith has made you whole. Your recognition of what is already true has made you whole, right? Because you're already whole. You're already whole. Your faith, your remembrance that you are already whole, that is what made you whole. Your remembrance that you are already healthy is what allows the body to catch up and be healthy. The remembrance that you are already prosperity is what allows the bank account to catch up. It's the remembrance, y'all. Okay? It's the remembrance. It's always the remembrance. So quote from Rumi. Why are you busy with all this movement? Stay with me, right? And we've talked about this quote. Why are you busy with all this movement? Right? Why are you busy, right? Being there, being here, or being there, right? Striving, reaching, trying to become something that you already are. Stay with me, right? Stay present. Understand that right now you already are everything. You're everything right now, okay? The movement is the symptom, but the stillness is the I am, right? So healing never comes from fighting what is wrong. Healing never comes from fighting what is quote unquote wrong. What does it come from? It comes from standing in what is true. Standing in the truth of who you are. Cool. All right, next part. What is the next part? Okay, here's the last part. All right. You don't become the way you remember you are. All right, you don't become the way you remember you are. So here's a couple lines, right? Because we constantly talk about Jesus saying, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Okay? I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. What? So I don't know how I will get healthy. Well, how? Well, I am is the way. All right. Right? So this is often the affirmation kind of that we go through, right? I don't know how I'll get healthy, but I am the way. Remember when Jesus, Yeshua, wasn't talking about I am as in I am the exclusive mediator towards an infinite God. Like you must go through me. He didn't mean it literally, of course, right? Scripture is not written by literalists. I am simply is recognizing the conscious way to get to the Father, right? It's the acceptance that I am the truth, right? I am the way. I am the truth, all right? So I don't know how I will get healthy. My body feels like this, but I am the way. Resting in the I am, resting in the knowing that I am all things. I can choose whoever I want to be right now. That is the way, okay? Number 2, I don't know how I will become wealthy, but I am the source, okay? But I am the source. Okay? So when you understand that you are the source, you are the temple of the Most High. You are all that there is. Huh? It doesn't matter how you see it. It doesn't matter what you perceive out there. You are the way. You are the truth. Okay? I don't know how things will rearrange. I don't know how shit's going to rearrange. But I am the intelligence rearranging them. All right? Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Right? So it doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter if the situation or the path does not look right. I am the way. Okay? I'm not trying to feel my way. Right? And I don't have to feel better about a situation I don't want to understand, to rest in the truth that I'm already it. Right? I don't have to fight the physical symptoms. The body hurts, right? You have these chronic health conditions. It would not even be right for me to tell you, well, just feel better about this shit and then you'll feel better. No, it's acceptance of the truth at the core of your being. The truth is I am. The truth is I am already healthy because I am source. And now the body must catch up to that eternal truth. Okay? The body must catch up to that eternal truth. All right? So this is obedience to truth. Obedience to truth is, yes, the situation is what it is. The feelings are what they are. Okay? The thoughts are what they are. The body's sensations are what they are. But I am that I am. Okay? I am that I am. Ko. All right. So this is obedience to truth. The Bhagavad Gita, when we go to the Bhagavad Gita, you are what you believe yourself to be. All right? You are what you believe yourself to be. Not what you feel. Not what you fight, not what the body reports, okay, but what you know, right? So we're going to that deeper truth, right? Remember, belief and doubt, those are aspects of the ego mind, right? Trying to come up with a logical fact, right? But where there's belief, there is doubt, right? So we're going to the acceptance of the truth within us. The truth is I am, right? We go to the acceptance of the truth, okay? Knowing doesn't strain, knowing rests. Knowing is beyond belief, is beyond doubt. It is knowing. It is acceptance. Okay? So when we talk about all these things, when we talk about, well, because I get it, bro. I get it. I've had this physical condition and all these manifestation people are telling me to feel it. How can I feel? I know what I feel. How can I ignore the physical symptom and get healthy? It's not about ignoring the physical symptom. It's not about ignoring reality. Or I have $10. I have bills piling up. I don't get paid for a couple weeks. I have kids. How can I feel wealthy in this condition? It's not about feeling or pretending, right? It's about the acceptance of the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that you have a Savior within you. You have God within you. And the aspects of this God or this I am is that this I am is already prosperity. The situation is what it is. I feel whatever I feel about the situation, but at the very least, I can cultivate a sense of gratitude for the knowing that I am reality. So even if the situation looks unfavorable, even if the body feels unfavorable, I understand that the body, the situation must catch up to the eternal truth that is me. I am the source. And if I am the source, reality will unfold from that source. The health will unfold. The prosperity is unfolding, right? It's all unfolding. The body must match the truth. The bank account must match the truth, right? So I'm not asking you to feel better about a situation that hurts. That would be a very insensitive thing for me to say. Well, just imagine that you don't hurt. Well, just walk around imagining you had money. You can, or you don't need to. You just need to accept the truth. And remember, the truth is beyond your belief. It's beyond doubt. It does not rely on belief and doubt. Belief and doubt can float and they can change based on your feelings. But I am is untouched by these things. I am just is. So when we begin to accept the truth of our existence as the truth of our existence, this is when everything must catch up to that truth. Okay? Cool. Love y'all. Here we go. You're not here to win arguments with your nervous system. You're not here to outfeel your symptoms. You're not here to pretend your way into miracles. You're here to remember who you are. And from that remembrance, what? Healing flows. From that remembrance, provision appears. From that remembrance, the body softens. From that remembrance, the future reshapes itself without force. Right? Be still. Cease striving. Stop trying to do all these superficial things to add on top of the God that you already are. God is not found by addition, adding feelings, adding thoughts, adding affirmations, adding these things. It's found by what? Removing all the illusions, all the things that imply it is not there. It has not been there the whole time. Okay? So be still, because I am is unshaken. Don't nobody go to that motherfucking act. Don't nobody go to that shit. All right? So, and everything follows that. Huh? So here we go. Got a love letter for y'all. Love letter for y'all. All right? Here we go. Here we go. Beloved, today you stop negotiating with symptoms, sensations, and circumstances for permission to be who you already are. Okay? Stop negotiating. You were never becoming the way. You are remembering that you are the way. You have always been the way. Right? You're not walking or striving or reaching toward truth. You are standing as truth right now. The body may speak in echoes of the past. The mind may tremble with old questions. The world may lag behind for a moment. For a moment. But none of that has the authority to define you. None of it. You don't need to feel powerful to be power. You don't need to feel whole to be wholeness. You do not need to feel rich to be source. Okay? So today, rest in identity. Let the master in you act without forcing. Let the I am in you act without forcing. Let healing unfold without panic. Let provision appear without obsession. Let clarity rise without strain. When doubt whispers, answer with stillness. When the body resists, answer with presence. When the future tries to hurry you, answer with I am. Okay? You are not placed here to prove anything. You have nothing to prove. You are here to be what everything comes from. From this posture, from that posture, all things reorganize naturally. I am that I am, no matter what. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what's going on out there, no matter what the body is screaming, no matter what the bank account is screaming, no matter what the job or the bills are screaming, you are it. It's just a fact. It's the truth. It is just the truth, right? So we go to that acceptance of the truth and allow your life to unfold to match the truth. Beautiful. Okay? Beautiful. 5 affirmations for you. Remember, when I say these, okay, you're not trying to be these or become these. This is remembrance of what you have always been, what you already are. Okay? This is a remembrance of what you already are. Cool. Number 1. I do not chase healing, wealth, or peace. I remember that I am the source they come from. One more time. I do not chase healing, wealth, or peace. I do not chase shit. I remember that I am the source they come from. Show divine ass. Show divine ass. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are, right? Number 2, the body may speak. The body may yell. The world may echo. But I am is the only authority that decides what is true. One more time for your divine mind, all right? The body may speak. The world may echo. The body may yell. The thoughts may shout. The circumstances might talk shit. But I am is the only. I am is the only. I am is the only authority that decides what is true. The only authority is I am. I am the authority. I decide. Beautiful. Number 3. I do not need to feel powerful to be power. Lex, this is for you. If you're listening, Lex, this is for you. I do not need to feel powerful to be power. I don't need evidence to be the evidence. You just are power. You just are power, no matter how you feel. You don't have to lose yourself trying to feel power. Feel powerful. You just are it. Accept the truth of who you are. Okay? Accept the truth of who you are. Number 5. Number 5. All right? I stop forcing. I stop striving. I stop becoming. I stop all these things. I don't force. I don't strive. There's nothing to become. All right? I stop forcing, striving, and becoming. I stand as what I have always been seeking. I stop forcing, striving, and becoming. I stand as what I have been seeking. Right now, I stand as what I have been seeking. Right now, you stand, you sit, you lay. Even right now, because I know some of y'all ain't even brushed your teeth yet. Even right now, while you're laying in that bed, not a tooth has been brushed. You still stand as what you have been seeking. Right now. Right now. Every single tooth still musty. But you got this, all right? I stop forcing, striving, and becoming. I stand as what I have been seeking. Number 5. Last but certainly not least, right? Last but certainly not least. I am the way reality moves. I am the way reality moves, not the one waiting for it to move. I am the way reality moves, not the one waiting for it to move. I am. Right? So, all in all, right? So to summarize this, and then we're going to do a little bit of questions. Right, I'm gonna scratch that little SP itch you got. I know some of y'all got a little SP itch. You've been feeding the ass a little SP question, right? To summarize this, I'm not telling you to pretend shit. Okay? How do I feel healthy when the chronic pain is busting? How do I feel wealthy when the money is low, when the bills are calling, when the eviction is there, when the kids are hungry? How do I just sit around and imagine? I'm not telling you to do that shit. You can if you want, but go to the truth. Go to the absolute truth. The truth is you are God. Therefore, you already are it. I'm not telling you to be anything new. I'm telling you to accept the truth of who you have always been accepted. You just are divine. You just are perfect. You just are prosperity. You just are wealthy. You don't have to feel wealthy to know and accept the truth that because you are God, you are wealthy. Allow reality to unfold from the truth. The truth. The truth, right? I am the truth. Okay? Cool. So I trust this was let me hold up. Okay, I did start Instagram. For a second I was like, damn, did I even start Instagram? All right, cool. So let's do questions now. Let's do questions, all right? I trust this was helpful, right? So this stemmed from a discussion yesterday when I asked somebody on the line. I was like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to act like I have 1 million or imagine that I have 1 million? I have 10. And everybody's like, imagine it. And I was gonna go deeper, but the good God, the good brother Shapes, he had a very, very powerful dialogue with her about it. But that was where I was trying to lead to was, well, what about a different situation? Let's say that somebody has a chronic health condition. Let's say somebody has a chronic health condition. In that case, are you just going to tell them just to imagine they don't feel it? Just imagine that just imagine you don't feel like shit. No, you're not going to tell them that shit. You're going to be like, well, shit. No, go to the truth. All right. All that trying to feel something is just trying to add on top of God. You're trying to add something to be something, but you already are it. You cannot become what you already are. You can't become what you already are. You just are love. You just are love. All right. Cool. What else y'all want to talk about? Somebody surprised me with a good question. Damn, we're not. Okay. Well, you just look at each other and shit. All right. How do you know what the angel and demon on your shoulder are? How can I elaborate more on being it, but there's still silence from SP? Oh, Maria, I love you so much. I love you so much, my guys. I mean, it's the same thing that I said, right? It's the same thing that I said. It's okay. All right. Let's have a pop quiz, y'all. Cause sometimes, what's good, Lord? What's good, my brother? Let's have a pop quiz, y'all. Cause sometimes I say shit and I feel like y'all get so focused on this one thing. You're like, oh yeah, I get that you're saying everything is the same, but what about this person? What about this stanky ass SP? So let's talk about it. Okay. So, how do you know what the angel and demon on your shoulder? There are no angel and there is no demon. We can answer that one quickly, right? There is no angel on your shoulder. There is no demon. There is only you in your own mind narrating your thoughts, accepting what you want to believe to be right and wrong, right? Even right and wrong is just you. It's just you coming up with something. What I will ask you, though, is when it comes to right and wrong, do you believe that things are right and wrong because you actually believe that? Or is it because you're trying to conform to what other people tell you is right and wrong? I'll say that. Bottom line is, even if you're trying to conform to somebody else, that's still a decision that you make to choose what you think is right and wrong, even if it's based on somebody else. So what do you consider to be right and wrong? All right, and then being. Can I elaborate more on being it? But there's still silence from SP. All right, y'all. Let's talk about this. I said I swear we just had a whole SP workshop. We just had a whole SP workshop. All right, so here we go. I'm going to talk about this in an indirect way, right? I'm not going to talk specifically about SPs. Okay? When we were talking about it, and I said, well, if you have a physical pain in your body, right? Well, then how could I tell you just feel better about it, right? Just feel it. I'll say, okay, well, just know yourself as health because you are source. Just accept the truth that because God is within you, you are health. And so therefore, the health will catch up. Okay, it will catch up. All right, now, how does this pertain to an SP, Maria? Answer that question. How does this pertain to an SP? Pop quiz time. How does that pertain to an SP? And by the way, y'all, SP means specific person, right? A lot of people they want specific people, right? We're love hungry around here. We want that person so bad to love us, right? Yo, my SP is on too. Love hungry. So no, Maria, don't get shy now. I know you didn't ask the question and then leave the chat. If Maria left the chat, then we can move on. If she left the chat, we can move on then. What other questions y'all got? What else can you do? What you mean RD? What you mean initial gang RD? How do you not fall into the trap of negative self-talk based off how someone treats you? All right, let's talk about this, okay? Do you believe that your thoughts create reality? Do y'all think your thoughts create reality? Now let's pretend that you say yes. Okay, cool. You say yes. Yes, you believe your thoughts create reality. Okay, cool, perfect. All right. So basically, if you want your life to turn into Jurassic Park, you just have to binge watch Jurassic Park and just only think about that show. Or if you want to become a meth dealer, right? You want to start doing that shit. You just have to watch Breaking Bad. And if you binge watch a TV show, then how come every time you binge watch a TV show, your life doesn't turn into that TV show? How come every time you watch a movie, your life doesn't turn into that movie? What is the difference? How come if I sit down and I just binge watch rich people? Exactly, because you know it's not real. Because you know it's not real. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Logan. Because you know it's not real. So it's not just your thoughts that create reality. Right? It's not just the thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. Right? If right now you turned off the TV, the phone, the books, you closed everything, you just went into the silence for the next day and you just watched your thoughts, you would see all kinds of thoughts show up. Right? Sometimes, have you ever walked by a balcony and just looked over it and then just thought, man, I should fucking jump. And then just, oh shit, no, I'm not going to jump. Maybe none of y'all have, but I have done that before, right? I've thought like that, right? That thought just randomly shows up. I still have the choice to identify with it or not. I wonder what it'd be like to fucking jump. No, the fuck I don't want to know what it's like to jump that motherfucker. I'm tripping, right? And I step back. So it's not just the thoughts, right? Because you have those intrusive thoughts. You have thoughts just show up. Remember, thoughts just show up within consciousness. They just show up within awareness, right? Sometimes I just catch myself singing a song like, damn, how the fuck did that song get in my head? It's because somebody else was just thinking of, or somebody else was just singing it by me. You know? All of a sudden, I'm walking around singing WAP. That I got that WAP. I don't got a WAP. I don't got a WAP, but all of a sudden that is stuck in my head. I don't transform automatically because I've been singing that, right? So it's more than just my thoughts. It's the acceptance, right? Remember, the thoughts, okay? The emotion is not the problem. There's nothing wrong. They just are what they are. It's when I start going down to them and identifying with them, right? So now, let's really think about when we believe thoughts are problems. When do you think thoughts are problems? When do you think thoughts are problems? Ooh, what a paradox, okay? A lot of times, most of us don't even really think, right? A lot of time, well, not don't even think. I stopped mid-statement. I ain't mean to say most of y'all don't even think, okay? I know y'all do think. Some of you, okay? So let's say this, all right? We don't think there is a problem with thoughts until we get into the manifesting space. You never had a problem with your thoughts before. Then all of a sudden you get into the manifesting space, and now all of a sudden you find all these problems. But not that. Now you get even more specific. It's not even all your thoughts that are a problem. It's just when you start thinking about that specific person. Oh, all of a sudden that specific person drives you to not, when you say, how do I stop intrusive thoughts? You're not talking about all intrusive thoughts, are you? You're just talking about those specific ones about that dumb ass specific person that you want, aren't you? Okay, cool. So we don't have a thought problem. We have an identification with specific thoughts problem. So let's cut the bullshit. You don't have a thought, an overthinking problem. A lot of you are like, oh, I'm an overthinker. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, cool. Are you an overthinker? If you identify as an overthinker, raise that little hand, raise the emoji hand in the chat. Let's talk. If you identify as an overthinker, let's talk. Okay, so you say that you're an overthinker. So, okay, why do you think you're an overthinker? Whenever you meet somebody that you love, and you study them, and you're thinking so much about them, and all of a sudden you start doing things for them that are kind. You're like, I'm just going to show out for this person. The quote unquote overthinking isn't bad then. No. You call it considerate. When you love somebody and you think about what they would like for their birthday, you're like, ooh, my SP is an Aries. She's a fire sign. Right? And she reads cards, right? And she reads them tarot cards. Let me go and do something nice for her. Now when it's like that, now all of a sudden it's a good thing, right? All of a sudden, you don't call it overthinking, you call it considerate. When is it overthinking? When we talk about that little stanky ass SP again. Now it's magically overthinking. So you don't have an overthinking problem. You have an identification with certain thoughts problem. What is the fucking solution? What is the solution? For you to actually become aware of the truth. Stop putting this blanket statement over your thinking. Oh, Alex, I just feel like I've been overthinking and I've just always been an overthinker. Oh, really? Have you? Or did you just start being an overthinker when you got into manifesting? You used to call it thorough. You used to say, I'm just thorough. I'm just thorough. But now all of a sudden it's an issue. Okay? So now let's solve for it. Okay? Let's solve for it, right? Exactly, my love. Or I am love. Right? Exactly. Those are not issues, thoughts, feelings, circumstances. They're not a problem. They just are. They just are. They just exist. We go into them and we start identifying with them, and then we say it's a problem. We say it's a problem. Okay? Are y'all with me so far? Have you followed? Or did your mind just kind of veer off into thinking about your specific person? What if the same results keep coming up in my life, then you start to believe them? What if that happens, guys? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about both of these issues, all right? So if everything is neutral and my assumptions create reality, is it those same results that keep showing up for me, or is it my expectation of the same results? Is it just that I'm holding on to an expectation of the same results? Is it truly, am I truly a victim of certain things showing up in my life? Am I just unconsciously getting beat up by reality? Is reality just beating me up for no reason? Or I start seeing something and then I identify with it. I say, oh, because I see this, it must be a problem. And so then it shows up again because, okay, now let me slow down because I don't want to jump too far ahead, okay? Let me walk you through a situation, okay? You are this Celsius can, okay? You're this Celsius can, okay? And this situation shows up, it's the coffee cup. This situation, this coffee cup means nothing. The coffee cup, the situation, it means absolutely nothing, okay? Instead of letting it pass by, and you still say, okay, I'm still God, I'm still source, everything's working out, you latch on to it, boom. You start identifying with it. Ooh, because this coffee cup showed up, I must be coffee. I must be doing something wrong. If this showed up, I wonder what it means. Obviously, so there's where the first problem is. We say, obviously, if this situation shows up, it means that I'm doing something wrong. It means I'm not who I want to be. So I have to do something better. So now I start striving, but I'm identifying with it. It showed up, so it must be me. So instead of me letting it pass by, I lock on, I identify with it. This is me. So to get different, I have to change. But I don't know what I have to change. So now I already have this doubt. Damn, shit. Okay, I'm doing something to get this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if me fixing this is going to change anything, so I've locked onto it. Now, what must I get in reality? Because I'm saying this is me, right? So what do I have to get? I have to get more coffee cups. I have to get more I have to get more of the same thing showing up. Because I have formed an identity around this thing. This thing did not attach to me. It just showed up in consciousness. I attached to it. I saw it and said, oh shit, that must be me. I formed an identity around it. Okay, are you following me? Are you following me? Oops, my bad, y'all. Are you following me? Okay, this was never the problem. The situation in your life, okay, the rent being passed due, the SP walking out, the argument that you had with your mother, this was never the problem. It was your attachment to it. This is why even the Buddha says what? Attachment leads to suffering. Why? Because you attach to it and now you get more and more and more and more and more of it. How do I break the loop? I stop identifying as it. Yes, the experience was real. The coffee cup showing up in my life was a real experience. But the experience is not me. I am me. So now, okay? So now I want you to think about it. Now okay, how do I get this pattern? The pattern shows up and I start believing it's true. Okay, this thing showed up, I identified with it, and now it's a pattern. So I have an identification with the thing, and I have an identification with the pattern of the thing. How do I get rid of it? I accept it for what it is. What is it? Just one experience out of infinite. But who am I? I am whatever I say I am. I don't have to base my identity on the past, on one coffee cup, on one situation. Here's the next part, right? Here's the next part. I don't have to base my identity on 10 coffee cups. What do we call 10 coffee cups? We call 10 coffee cups childhood trauma, patterns. I have to heal this long-term trauma. Right? What is the difference between 1 coffee cup experience and 10 coffee cup experiences? What's the difference? Identification. They're the exact same thing. Just identification. I identify it different. I think because I've seen 10 experiences, it makes it more real. But check this out. Intensity does not equal validity. All right, so I know some of y'all been dropping your heads. So let me say that in a different way. I know some of y'all been dropping your goddamn heads, okay? How quote unquote real the experience feels does not make it the truth of who you are. All right? Just because it feels more real doesn't mean it is more real. Okay? Intensity does not equal validity. I equal validity. I am valid. All right? I am valid. Okay? So you are this sovereign being. You can either decide to let things pass, or you can latch on to them and say, because I have this experience, I get to identify with it. I want you to think, this is how life is. This is what your life is. You're standing in the middle of reality, and situations, experiences are flowing. It's like a divine menu. We've talked about this concept before, right? Where life presents this divine menu, and you get to say, I want more of this, or I want less of this. What if instead of attaching to the things you didn't like, you began attaching to, finish the statement for me. What if instead of attaching to the things you didn't like, you began attaching to what would make more sense? The things you do like. The things you do like. What if you started to create loops of good things, loops of prosperity, loops of abundance, loops of SPs, an SP loop. Oh, could you imagine? Imagine an endless SP loop. Some of y'all are in heaven thinking about that right now, huh? Remember, the kingdom is within you. The kingdom is within you. I know that you're in heaven right now thinking about it, but the kingdom is within you. An endless SP loop? Wouldn't that be beautiful? You get to choose whatever you want to identify with. Okay? You get to choose what you want to identify with. And when I say loop, I just mean pattern, not thought loop, right? It's what I was talking about, Dora. So if I have an experience, right, and I think, man, this thing keeps happening to me in my life. It's not the thing that's happening. It's my expectation that it happens, right? So it happened once, and I latched onto it, and I said, oh, because I was cheated on, right? Some of y'all been cheated on twice. Because I've been cheated on twice, you're like, oh my God, it's a pattern, it's a loop. No, I'm just always afraid that people's going to cheat on me, right? It's not that that's some kind of definitive pattern. You've only been with 2 people. I don't care if you've been with 10 people and 10 cheated. You've only been with 10. Those were just 10 experiences. You still get to decide who you are. You're just choosing to be someone who identifies as somebody who, oh, I've been with 10 people. And then we will make other excuses. We will argue for our limitations. We'll fight. We'll get ready to square up for a limitation. Well, what do I mean by that? We'll say, well, shit, Alex, I get it, but I still feel this way. And I'll be okay, well, do your thoughts create emotion? Or do your thoughts create reality? Do your feelings create? Well, no, but I just still feel like it. So basically, you're just trying to hold on to because you feel like it, you shouldn't have what you want. Does that make sense? Well, no, but I still feel like... So we just sit and we double down and buckle in and we just argue for our limitations. No, I can't. I just don't want to let it go. You've given me the keys, right? So this is what it means when we say somebody can show you the door, but you got to walk through that shit. I mean, who here does not have an excuse? Everybody right now. If we all sat down and we wrote down our excuses, wrote down the shit that happened to us in our life, oh my gosh. The endless live stream. You thought yesterday's live stream was long? Oh, we'll be on this motherfucker all night. Everybody come up here and give me your excuses on what's happened to you. Well, I feel this way, and the SP did this, and the mother did this, and the childhood was like this, and then I had to go to this school, and they bullied me, and somebody peed in my food, and we would just constantly make up excuses. Fortunately for us, it doesn't matter. Fortunately for us, an experience cannot determine who I am. I get to determine who I am right now. Right? Which is absolutely beautiful. We're freed, right? We get to free ourselves from the past. Okay? We get to free ourselves from the past. Can you go back in time, dissociate from something, and attach to something totally different? Well, you only have right now. You can't go back in time. You'll never be back there again. But you can decide who you are right now, which is the same thing. You get to dissociate right now. What's up, alignment codes? What it do? What's up? That's why I ain't got no more questions. The answer will always be sourcing. That's 100% accurate. It's 100% accurate. 100% accurate. The answer will always be I am. And the answer will always be right here in this present moment. I get to choose who I am. The fastest way to overcome resistance, take a deep breath, do a handstand. No, I'm just playing. Just take a deep breath. Don't even take a deep breath. Just say this, okay? You want to know the fastest way? Here we go. I'm going to give all of y'all a secret technique. A secret technique. Okay? I should be charging y'all money for this, but I'm going to give it to you free. Okay? Here's a secret technique to drop all resistance. Decide that you don't have any fucking resistance. There you go. Magic. You are God. You are the power. You don't have resistance. You're just holding on to an assumption that you have resistance. Exactly, love. Right? There is no 3D catching up. We will often use that to make concessions, right? I use that to make concessions all the time, right? I make concessions like that all the time if 3D's catching up. Why do I do that? I do that because in the context of our discussions, I want you to realize that what you see out there isn't you. So you don't have to identify with it. So why I try to create that space is because I don't want you looking out there and being like, oh, well, it's not instant. That must mean I'm not it. So I articulate my way in a way for you to look out there and say, that's not me. But the truth is that is all within you. But you are reality. It's going from thinking that reality is out there to knowing that you are reality. And that acceptance of that allows everything to simply stay in harmony, right? Balance, right? Balance. Cool. Had to get over that, the illusion of waiting. Exactly. Why do we hold on to it? Why do we hold on to assumptions? Such a personal questions, right? And it's deeper than that. Everything is, right? And everything's not at the same time, right? Sometimes we'll try to add depth and we'll make it a little bit more complicated than it is. You don't have to know all of this to get what you want, right? But we speak in concessions not to confuse, but also to keep everybody on the same track, right? Do you need to know about parallel realities and all these things to manifest? No. You don't. Do you even need to believe in God to manifest? No. Yeah, you don't, right? You need to believe in the nature of 3D reality and how reality is you. Do you need to believe in all that? No, of course not. You don't need to know none of that, right? None of that. You just have to accept that you are the truth, right? What you desire is already here. Yeah, exactly. Say he's always watching you. Hold up. Who is he's always watching me? Bro, God is... Okay. Okay, Mattia Toso. Do you think it's harder for neurodivergent individuals? No. I believe that we'll often attach these labels to ourselves, And then we'll start saying, oh, because I'm this, that's my excuse to make it feel harder for me. Oh, I have ADHD. Oh, I have this. I've been through this. I'm an avoidant. I'm yada, yada. But God can't be placed in any of those labels. So no, I don't think it's harder for anybody. Exactly. Black guy, white guy type of vibe, type shit. Motia, so bro, respect my name. Nigga, respect my life, bro. Talk about respect your name. You just come in here just spilling shit, talk about respect your name. Respect my space. How about that? Or you just come in here, you start coming in here invading something and then tell me to respect you? Come on, man. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. What is going on? I swear some of y'all just been dropped on y'all goddamn damn heads sometimes. Like, what is going on up here? Shit. How do you lock in and get your person back already? You decide that they already are yours. They're already within you. Right? They already are you. They could never leave because they are you. Right? So my brother that came in here that's talking about I'm losing it, right? So he believes in separation, that God is here watching. God is not anywhere. God just is, right? So everything is within you. Your person is within you. Okay? They are within you, so they can't leave. They cannot leave. This is why coming to that truth, right? Coming to that truth that you are reality, that you are one, that God is everything and everything is within you, allows you to step out of the illusion of separation and begin to tell the truth about reality. When I speak to reality, speak at reality as if it's the truth, right? What does that mean? To speak to it as if it's the truth, right? It's to decide that everything is within me. That person that I see out there, it may seem like they are out there, but they are within me, okay? And if they are within me, they cannot leave. So now I begin to tell the truth of reality, and I allow everything to unfold to that truth, okay? Good luck to you as well. Exactly. You can't lose anything because everything is within you. You can't lose. There's nothing to lose. Nowhere to go. Right? Sometimes y'all just piss me off with that shit. Listen, respect me. Go to your own space. How about that? Go to your own live stream, man. Leave me alone. Leave my space alone. A lot of people get stuck in the loop of asking questions because that's interesting because that's what we were talking about the other day, right? Is are you allowing transformation in your life, or are you seeking validation? And I understand how difficult it is to get out of that because we're constantly conditioned. We're constantly conditioned to seek, to believe that truth is just repetition, right? This is what the school teaches us. This is the condition as the kids. These are all, oh, hell yes. How you doing, brother? I missed you. I missed your engagement. Thank you. The most judgmental person I've ever seen on the live stream. My brother Helios finna come in here and start judging everything. All right? I love when you do this shit. Right? So most of the time we are in this constant place where we are just looking out there, right? We're just looking out there. And while we are looking out there, everything has programmed us to say, hey, look, this is, you seek information, right? The truth isn't repeating stuff. We're always told to look outside of ourselves. So now that we come into this space and it's, okay, well, come back to the truth, come back to yourself. There's still this fight, right? This battle to relax into, I already am it, right? I already am it. Hold up, let me switch phones. Real quick. Which is unfortunate, right? So a lot of this journey is about choosing that it's all working out, right? Resting, choosing that it's all going to work out. Which sometimes can be a lot easier said than done, right? need to change the title to just the I am that I am. Yeah, accepting the truth over the illusion. Much better. So remember, y'all, like even when we have these discussions, right? Part of this is, okay, we come into the understanding that there's only one, right? There's only God. There is no other. Even to say that there's a me and a you, right? Even that is an illusion in itself, right? However, we speak in these concessions simply to understand, right? This is why even the mystics speak in concessions, right? This is why even Jesus spoke in concessions, right? I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I, right? Well, there is no I and Father, right? That implies two, right? Even thinking that I can form a relationship with God is a complete illusion because there is no I. There is only God. There is only God, okay? There is only the one, okay? So, but we speak and we break it down into concessions simply what? To allow the information to be heard, okay? To give us more clarity on what it is we're talking about. But there is only the one. There is no reality out. There's no 3D and then an internal and as within, so without. All of those are simply ways to explain the infinite. There is only one. Okay, there's only me pretending to be Alex. There's only God pretending to be Alex. There's only reality or God pretending to be reality. There is only God. Okay. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Surrender. Just thinking about this, just thinking about it. For sure. I spent so much time reading through books and watching videos, and then I spent so much time after that just sitting with myself with all of this and allowing it to just marinate. And it just always comes back to the same thing, which is there's only now, there's only God. That's what it always comes down to. There's only now, there's only God. Okay. There's only now, there's only God. All paths just lead back to that truth. Right? The eternal I am. Right? The eternal I am. Right? Y'all ain't even know that I could understand it. I could read that shit, huh? I know my girl, yes, she's gonna be proud when she knows I can see El eternal way, right? Eternal now, right? The eternal now. Yeah, Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because the information that we're speaking about, right? I don't know what that one means. I was gonna ignore that one because I was like, shit, they just tested my gangster right there. I don't know what the fuck that shit mean. But it's interesting how we come to this information, right? And we are constantly digging and digging and reading, and we realize that it really is the simplest truth. We go down this path, and of course the conditioning of the world. For us to break through the conditioning of the world, we have to take this long path, right? Because let's just be honest, right? To the average human who has existed within this planet, right? By the time they hit 18, 19, 20, their mind is so conditioned that to walk up to them and say, hey, you're God, the only moment is now, it would just sound like an infinite riddle. It makes no sense, okay? So we go down this path, and it's beautiful because still, it doesn't matter how far into the programming you get, there are still infinite paths back to I am. Infinite paths back to I am, right? So even the forgetting. So when we talk about like Genesis 1:31, right, when it says everything was very good, everything was already perfect, everything was created perfectly, right? Remember, even the paths of forgetting, even all the paths of forgetting are baked into infinity. So even the path of forgetting is the perfection of remembering. It's all perfect, right? Well, we can give ourselves that grace. But even telling that to the uninitiated is a lot. It's like, damn. That doesn't even go on and tell me when I was 18 that shit, and I would have been like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I gotta go holler at these hoes. You feel me? I gotta go holler at these goddesses. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to worry about that shit. So when we have to get to even a certain level of understanding before we can come back to this truth, right? So it's beautiful, and I appreciate that we're able to talk about this together. And I will constantly reiterate this, that having this conversation at certain times in human history would have gotten all of us hung. Some of us would have been burnt at the stake at witches for talking like this. We would have got burnt at the stake as witches for talking about this shit. Motherfuckers would have said heresy, line them up and stone their ass for talking like this. Which is wild, right? Because, as we've talked about so many times, this is not a statement. The I am is not a statement of arrogance. It's a statement of unity. There is only God. There is no other. Everything else, words will always fall short to define the infinite. Because it just is. It's the closest you will get to explaining the all, God, source, the one, is silence. That's the closest you will get to explaining the infinite, is just everything after that is a filter of human experience. It's a filter of ego. It's a filter of perspective. It's a filter of the story, the programming, the pattern. All of it is a concession. We write these poetic words and we try to explain it the best way that we can so that we can grasp it and others can understand it and come into this beautiful realization, but it all falls short. It all falls short. All of it falls short. There's just God. There's only the one. There is only I am. Right? So, yeah. It's beautiful. A beautiful realization. And I'm grateful to be on this journey with all of y'all. I'm grateful to be on this journey with all of y'all. I know what you I get what you're saying, Alex. We all God, but what about the SP? Do I think creating an alter ego is a good way of completely changing oneself? So, like I've said, right? So hear me, my goddess, right? You just are already everything that you want. Now, whatever permission slip you want to create, you can create. You don't need to. But if you believe that would be beneficial, you can. At the beginning of my journey, I had an alter ego. His name was Dominus Kronos. Dominus Kronos. I don't know if you've ever watched Spartacus, right? My people are angry at me. Damn, you're back. Fuck, I thought you were gone. Damn, you're back. I thought you were gone, right? So back in the day, I had the nickname was Dominus Kronos. Dominus means like a master, and Kronos means divine timing. And so it was a calling to come back into this moment of perfection where all things existed right here, right now. All right? That was really what the name meant, and it helped me a lot. To now, it's simply the remembrance of who I truly am. Okay, but yeah, if you want to create that alter ego, go ahead. I'm not going to say don't do those things that call you into the truth. However, right, I want you to remember who you truly are at the core, right? If that what helps you, cool. If that's what helps you, cool. They're crying for what you do. Who is crying? Tell them to come talk to me. They don't have to talk to you to talk to me. Who is talking to you about me? All right, we were vibing so well until he goes to me. He doesn't seem to be interested in what I want him. I need mods. I kind of like the freedom. I like the freedom of sometimes being able to respond and sometimes not responding. I've seen people that do have mods and they're like, they just kind of get stuff out, but man, it does that entertainment. And it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me on my toes, man. Because y'all know I can go off on a tangent anyway. So sometimes it is fun to see a comment and then like I'm already kind of in flow and I'm talking and then I'll just veer off for a couple of seconds and address it and then snap right back into the conference. I always feel so cold when I do that. I'm like, yeah, nigga, y'all can't. Yeah, nigga, I put the words together in a way you can't do it. I put the words together in a way, you know what I'm saying? So it's always fun to do that sometimes. Sometimes I ignore it. Other times, it's just fun. It's just fun. Because I know, I mean, it's not like people that leave comments like that, it's not like they're finna walk up to me in public and say any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They do that shit on the internet. They do that shit on fake accounts. You go to their profile, it's a picture of a fucking dog. Or it's a picture, it's just a black picture. You know what I'm saying? No post. You know what I'm saying? Following 22 people, 0 followers. Like, come on, bro. So let me ask you that we create these other people that's in our lives. So, yep. Well, don't think of it as creating, right? Everything is done. So they walk into your life. And from the moment they walk in, let's say that people walk in and they're a blank vessel. So they just communicate how they communicate. From that point forward, you just get a choice on how people treat you, how they. Okay, let's put it. Let me put it in a lighter way, because we were talking about it yesterday. And I think I was talking about this with Sierra yesterday. Was Sierra? I don't know. It was one of the triplets. Sierra, Prissa, Lex. It was one of them three. One of them three goddesses. I don't know. All right. So we were talking about how we'll often say this one person treats me like this, right? A family member or whatever, and we'll attach to that person. We think I have to choose a different version of that person. Oftentimes, right? Let's say that somebody shows up and they think that I'm Pris. I knew it was you. I knew it was you the whole time. I was just joking. I knew it was you. I never forget. So this situation comes in and somebody, treats me in a way that I don't like. Okay. Usually, all right, what would happen if I actually address the core, the source, which is me? I went to the source code. I'm the source code, huh? And now I actually choose who I am. Well, people always appreciate me. I'm always treated like this. Not only does that change my relationship with them, that simply changes all my relationships. So now every single thing that shows up in my life becomes a choice for me to have a greater quality of life overall, not just with that one person. That one person, of course, is going to conform to my assumption because my assumption is reality. My truth is reality. But instead of me trying to fight, like kind of leaving who I am and going out to them and trying to change that person, because energetically that feels exhausting to reach out into that person and try to choose them, right? I come back into me and I say, okay, well, I am the source. How do I feel about this? Well, no, this is how I'm related to. This is how people treat me. Now that core assumption becomes my truth, and not only do they change, but everything in my reality does. Okay? My ex-husband or this type of shit. I love it, RD. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're my favorite. Of all the initials in the chat, you're my favorite. Of all the initials, RD, you're my favorite. Don't tell none of them I said that, though. Oh, damn. KT in here? Shit. I'm just playing, KT. I'm just playing, KT. You know what I'm saying? You my. All the initials in the chat, I love y'all. Can't get enough of y'all. I do have favorites though. I do have favorites. I've been trying to figure out who's gonna be my 5 favorites to send Christmas gifts to. I've already sent one. I've already sent one Christmas gift. I have 4 more Christmas gift spots. So if you're on your best behavior and you don't manifest it, you don't ask me a bunch of SP questions, you might make the list. You might. Right? That's with my shit. Hey, look. You take yours in person. I'll check RC. I am the list. Oh man, y'all are funny. Yeah, got a little Christmas. Christmas is coming. Matter of fact, that's a good idea. Just 4 people, 4 more people send out a Christmas gift. I don't know. Yeah, see, you could never make me dislike you. Yeah, see, you are number 1 on the list, as always. Charge of what I experienced in my data. So basically, you're in charge. Exactly. Basically, you are in charge. All right, you're in charge. Remember, when we say you're in charge, I am is in charge, right? Your truth is in charge. Never ask us. I ain't never say never. Never say never. A lot of these folks in here thought they would never ask an SP question until that one beautiful god or beautiful goddess came across their sight, tickled their private parts in a way that they just couldn't. Ooh, they tickled your private parts in a way that they ain't never been tickled before, right? And now all of a sudden you're in this chat like, oh my God, there's a third party. Are they tickling them too? Probably. I'm just playing, y'all. I know the SP stuff can be a little bit triggering. Don't really care, but I know that some of y'all care, so. The other person. Trigger what? Oh, y'all are funny. There's a SP ain't even good like that, and he got bald. Damn. Yeah, that's what you say now. That's not what you were saying when he was there. That's not what you were saying when he was there. Does my SP read tarot? Yeah, she does. My SP reads tarot. It was just like Toxic D trips you up every time. I wouldn't know, but I mean, to each his own, I suppose. Oh, there go my other favorite initial gang, KJX. I love how y'all start investigating. I gotta go visit my mom today. I think I'm going to take her some date. The money gun, you feel me? That's what I love right there. A little money just flowing into the experience. Everywhere. Everywhere, brother. All right, y'all. I'm probably gonna jump off here in about. You refuse. What's going on? You are. Dang, this dude went from commenting on the live to commenting on videos. Oh my God. What is the metaphysical reason that 3D requires a time lag? Well, Miss Star, it doesn't. It does not require anything. It doesn't require a time lag. Yeah, ask I Am Love. She been deep on the timeline game lately. The girl been deep on the timeline game. It doesn't. The only reason I talk about the 3D kind of quote unquote lagging behind is for you to understand that you don't have to accept that reality is you. You get to choose your identity. But the greater truth, the deeper truth, is that you are reality. It's all you. Right? It's all you. So if it's all you, how can there if reality out there is you and it's within you and it is you, it's more than within you, it just is you, then what's making the delay? What's lagging? Who's lagging behind who, you know? Is being reality an experience I can have in the present moment? Yep, it sure is. Doesn't the 3D have to adjust to what we want? Yeah, but the 3D is you. Yeah, it does. Damn. See, sometimes when I say something like that, I'm like, man, I'm not trying to cause confusion. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to cause confusion. I was just saying that you don't have to judge. 3D isn't you. 3D isn't you. Okay, 3D isn't you. Okay, it is you, but you don't have to say that the 3D. Oh God, never mind, bro. Never mind. Let's not go down that loop. Let's not go down this fucking loop. Let's not go down this fucking loop, man. Well, maybe we'll go down. Maybe we'll go down that shit one day, but not today. Not today. You are reality. You decide. You are the truth, and everything unfolds from within you. Point blank. Period. External must match you, because the external is you. Yeah, go ahead. You do that. I ain't finna respond to none of that shit. You got it. I am love. Go ahead. Put that shit up in the Telegram, and y'all have a good conversation about it. I'm going to spend time with my family. How is there no time like in 3D? You see what I mean? Does the neck piece symbolize something? Nah, it's a crystal. I couldn't even tell you which one it is. I just like it. But someone got it for me. Yeah, maybe it'll help somebody for sure. Y'all know I'm just talking shit though, right? When I say I'm not gonna jump in. Of course I'm gonna jump in. Tag your boy in. I live for this. I breathe this. Yes, when you accept there's no resistance, right? Yeah, it's Tiger's Eye. Damn. It is Tiger's Eye. I'm gonna jump in it. Make you dive in it. So you're stopping myself from what I need. There's nobody else. There's no one else. So who else could be stopping you? If imagination creates reality, thought revision, though revision can physical proofs change, e.g. photos, they can. It sure can. How deep can it go? How deep does it go? What is the limit on what can change? What is the limit on imagination? You know what that question is? When you start asking the question, what can change? And you understand that you are one, you're God, right? Let me say this here. Y'all listen up. This might help somebody, okay? When you start asking that beautiful question, what can change? What is possible with my imagination? What is possible in what I decide? You also know that the question that you are truly asking is what is possible with God? This is such a beautiful and boundary dissolving question. This is such a beautiful question because now you are engaging with the limitations of the mind, the limitations of God, right? When you and God, when you realize there is no you, only God, and you realize that you are the implementation of God's will, what is the limit of that? What is the limit of that? Well, the limit, what you're going to realize is the limit is you. The limit is what you can accept as truth. Oh, damn. Fuck, I got a vacuum and shit. Do they have to play out? Nope. They sure don't. No, they don't have to play out. They don't have to play out at all. So this is why when we keep going to that truth, right? Like, that's even a good question. Do old thoughts have to play out, or do old patterns have to play out? Of course not. I am the pattern. I'm the way. Huh? So I was talking to somebody on Telegram, and they had kind of been complaining about money and saying that things happen, and they spent money and they were looking away and they were kind of fearful. And then a situation happened where they got pulled over. They could have gotten a ticket, right? But it was just a manifestation of them believing that, yeah, okay, I'm trying to be prosperity, but now I'm seeing that money just goes, and it's uncomfortable when money goes. And I don't want to look at money going. So a situation comes into their life to mirror that, where all of a sudden they're not seeing where the money's going. They even said, I just wasn't paying attention and got pulled over. A physical manifestation of their acceptance of their truth. Now, what happened? In the middle of it, they decided, no, I'm going to get out of this. It's going to be fine. And they end up getting a warning. Now, how I perceive that is that everything is instant, right? So even if you're in the midst of a pattern, what breaks the pattern? I am breaks the pattern because I am is the truth. Reality responds instantly. There is no lag, right? I know I am love is going to love that one. Right? I am love is going to love that one. Reality responds instantly. There is no lag because reality is you. It's your decision. It is you. So no, nothing has to play out. Once you've identified it playing out is you. Once you've identified the pattern, it continuing to play out is your decision. How is it my decision, Alex? Well, when you ask the question, does it have to play out? Of course not. But are you accepting that it has to play out? Are you accepting that it must play out? Or are you accepting that I am the truth? I'm the center of reality. It's unfolding from within me. If it's unfolding from within me, guess what? I can stop the film roll right now and I can insert a new film and boom, that motherfucker starts playing now. Yes, the self can see what you are being in the moment. Absolutely. I want to think of thoughts as like portals to different timelines. You can if you want, but I prefer to understand that the thoughts don't create, right? Just my identification with them. The truths. I would look at truths as portals, right? And then what about like flying? Well, sure. You could say that flying is physically impossible. Sure, you could say that. Until the human evolution allows us to be born with wings, or until I buy you a first class ticket to Aruba and put your ass in a plane, all of a sudden flying is fine. Or when I put a parachute on your back and push you off of a cliff, now all of a sudden you're flying. Or I put one of them things on your fucking hands, and now all of a sudden you're flying, right? So it's how do you accept? How specific are you accepting? Are you accepting that flying is flying, or are you saying no, that's not flying. Only this is flying. We ain't gonna get into the moonwalking shit. The only motherfucker that I believe walked on the moon is Michael Jackson. The only motherfucker I believe walked on the moon, did any kind of moonwalk, was Michael Jackson. That's it. Everything is a conspiracy to me. We start going down conspiracies, everything is a conspiracy to me. Everything. Every fucking thing is a conspiracy. Why don't I believe we walked on the moon? Do I believe that we strapped people into a compartment back in the time where we had black and white TVs? We strapped them into a fucking rocket. We blasted them up. The rocket fell apart in space. Pieces of it were just falling back. Doof, 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 doof. These motherfuckers are just... And they came out that little rocket, that little ass tip of the rocket. Not even the full rocket shaft landed. Just the fucking tip. Just the tip. The tip ain't never satisfied nobody, right? They jumped out the tip. They planted a flag, they jumped around, then they walkie-talkied back. One small step for man, one small... They jumped around on this motherfucker for a little bit, and then somehow got back in this little ass tip, and somehow got all the way back down to fucking Earth, and I still lose service when I drive under the fucking bridge. I'm sitting here, and y'all are talking shit about my Wi-Fi. But I believe that they communicated from... No. For me to believe we walked on the moon, I'm going to have to do it. And I'm not going to get into it, and I'm not going to get into a rocket to do it. So I guess I just won't believe. I refuse to believe. Now you could say, well, Alex, all things are possible with God, right? And I'll say, sure. Absolutely, it is possible. Does that mean that I have to accept it? Does that mean that I have to accept that a bunch of people back in 1958 or 72 or whatever the fucking year was, do I have to believe that these deceptive ass government people strapped people into a rocket and fired them to the moon? I'm not. You ain't finna. Nah. Can't believe it. I just can't. I just cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. I can't. I don't know what it would take to convince me, but as of now, I can't. They live streamed it. And they fucking live streamed it, bro. Yeah, bro. I don't know. I can't get with it. I can't get with it. I just can't do it. Yeah, we'll go to the moon, but the cure that, well, now if we start talking about that, we're going to get into another conspiracy theory. Of course we can heal all that shit. And I'm sure that and the same companies that's putting all this shit in the food, getting people sick, is the same people that are holding back the cure to certain things as well, or just kind of spoon feeding us the cure. Right? If thoughts don't create, how do affirmations work? It's identification with the thoughts. Identification creates, right? Acceptance, truth. Hell yeah, you just open up a can of worms. A big ass can too. A moon-sized can of worms. I'm not saying affirmations don't work. You ain't gonna catch me saying that, but I will say this though: when we're doing them from lack, that's how they become hit or miss, right? It's acceptance. When we accept the truth, you don't even have to affirm. You can though, right? Do that for the enjoyment. Do it for the love of the game. The affirmations, the visualizations, do it for the love of the game. But in order, like trying to get some from lack, right? Where does accountability lie for past behavior that belongs to an old self that no longer exists? It lies in right now. Accountability is right now. What perspective do you choose? Do you choose to still be that person? Or do you choose to allow yourself to make that version of you proud by deciding who you're going to be right now? Okay. How do I know I'm identifying? If in my mind I don't, but the 3D keeps showing me the opposite. How do I know I'm identifying? Oh, you just know. It's acceptance. You accept it as the truth of who you are. Right? Remember, belief and doubt are aspects of the ego. At least, how do I not identify with the pain when it's there? So, damn. We went so long that y'all have forgotten the discussion that we talked about just today. So, Dora and Marla, I would highly recommend that you go to YouTube and watch this discussion from the beginning. And watch this discussion called I Am the Way, Not a Symptom, a lecture on identity above sensation. We talked about identity and we talked about how to manifest even when you have physical pain. Right, so I highly advise those. How you don't identify with the pain. Well, the pain is the pain, right? But I am. Right, but yeah, Marla, my bad. So when we talk about how do I know I'm identifying? Remember, knowing is just knowing, okay? When you're talking about the 3D in the mind, that's all ego-based, right? Belief and doubt and all that's ego-based. Those things fluctuate. Belief fluctuates based on how you feel, etc., right? But knowing just is, right? The acceptance of something as an absolute fact. This is just the truth of reality that I am. That's beyond belief and doubt. So what we constantly are talking about is accept that you are source as just the truth. Now from that, accept what you want. Who are you? Okay, I am prosperity. That's just the truth. Doesn't matter if I see it, believe it, doubt it. It just is the truth. Once I identify as that, now I simply exist. I be, right? I can be. I can float through life and I can allow everything. I can give permission to everything to unfold. But if I'm constantly trying to fight my thoughts, I'm going to feel good if situations look good. I'm going to feel shitty if they don't. And then I'm going to have questions like, well, what do I do if the situation looks like this? What do I do if I have a sensation in my body? What do I do if I have a physical pain? What do I do if the bank account is like this? Well, the thoughts, the mind is always going to look for external proof. So fighting with it just leads to suffering. Instead, accept the truth. You just are prosperity because you're God. And now allow that to unfold from within you. How you handle everything on the way there is fine. However you handle it is absolutely fine. Because you just are the truth either way. All right, y'all. I could tell from answering that question that I'm a little tired. So, I'm finna log out of here because I'm not going to be able to give y'all my best anymore. So, finna chill, finna go, chill with some family, but I shall talk to y'all later, okay? Shall talk to y'all later, all right? Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, and love y'all. Love y'all. Peace.